Per9000's game room.
So Cybernator, or as it was known in Japan, Assault Suit Falcon, is a sort of robot mecha run and gun game which was released for the Super Nintendo in 1992. In its day it was a popular game which lots of people knew about, but not so many realised that it was part of a series of games and that it was the indirect prequel to a game called Target Earth in America and Assault Suit Lanos in Japan, which had appeared on the Mega Drive, or as Americans would call it, the Sega Genesis, in those territories but not in Europe. For us Europeans, this game Cybernator would be our first look at what you would call the Assault Suit series. Cybernator was localised and published overseas by Konami, so it is often just referred to by us British gamers as a hit Konami game from the SNES days. It was actually created by Messiah, the software division of a company called NCS, which stands for Nippon Computer Systems. They have made and published quite a few games, but not many which have been big over here. So in this case, the Konami name was probably a huge boost to Cybernator's sales. Now, robots and mech suits were super popular when this game came out. A whole generation of kids had grown up on Transformers and GoBots and had started moving into the more anime-related shows involving robots and battle armour. So I remember this game being treated as if it was a dream come true by most of the people I knew. Okay, so I'll give a brief version of the plot. The game takes place in the future, a future where Earth's fossil fuels have begun to run out. A large-scale war has begun for control of the remaining resources and for territory, including ownership of the moon. The two warring governments, the Axis and the Federation, are both very advanced. Advanced to the point where they have the technology at their disposal not only to go into space but also to create giant space stations and orbital weapons platforms. You play a soldier who pilots a Federation assault suit, the Cybernator of the title. The assault suit has a bulky humanoid shape and is equipped with a variety of weapons. Your main mission is to destroy the most powerful mech in the Axis Army's forces. It is called Bildvorg. I can't be certain, but I don't think the story changed that much between the original Japanese version and our version of Cybernator, but I do know that there was some degree of censorship. For one, a suicide scene was removed. Nintendo were very PG when it came to Europe, back in the Super Nintendo days. My first impression of the game was that it had pretty good graphics, a well-fitting soundtrack, but that it was a darn difficult game. I know that this put a few of my friends off the game, but I don't think it's ridiculously hard. It's one of those games that feels tough but rewarding. Every time you have another go, you seem to get a little bit of a better feel for it, and more of an idea on how to best face the challenges it puts in front of you. The more you look at the game though, the deeper you realise the graphical touches run. There is a lot of destroyable scenery and it just has such good atmosphere, it really puts you into the sci-fi world it supplies. The controls do take some getting used to, I'll admit, but once they click with you, they click. The mech movement might surprise some who come here expecting Contra. These mechs are powerful but heavy, so it's a slightly slower game which is more likely to be won through tactical shooting as opposed to blipping all over the screen Gunstar Heroes style. I can't see anyone going as far as having the music from the game on their phone or MP3 player or anything, but it does fit the game really well. You have to remember that with some of these old games you don't have passwords or save states, so there's added challenge here as it means you need to devote the time to finishing this sort of bad boy in one sitting. Either that or you're going to have to keep your SNES plugged in and keep coming back to it, praying that no one has banged the console. So what would I rate the game? Well, I'd give it a 7.5 out of 10. If you wanted to play this on the SNES, what would it cost you? Well, I've had my copy so long I can't remember what I paid for it, or where I even got it, but from having a look online, you're doing well if you can get a cart for about 10 quid. And if you look around, sometimes you can get a box copy for about 20 to 25. Okay, this is Per9000 signing off, saying keep on gaming.